Aloha and welcome to Storytime with Marcus! For those who are wondering, my shirt says, always be yourself, unless you can be a dragon. Roar! Then always be a dragon! Roar! So a little bit of backstory on how I came up with the story. So I ended up purchasing this product as just kind of like, why not? I'll try it out. And so then I purchased it, and then it made claims to have autoimmune assistance, revival, I don't know, whatever marketing term they used. So what I did was I took the idea of the product of having autoimmune assistance, and then took that and put it into the idea of the story. So that's where the story comes in. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So I don't have a name for this story. Okay, we're just gonna call it the Product Bacteria Story, or something better when I come up with it. Alright, let's get started! Hi! Blood cell A says to a familiar blood cell as it flows through one of your veins. Blood cell A likes to chat with the other blood cells as it carries oxygen throughout your body. How are you on this fine day? Oh, can't complain, blood cell B says. Although, it would be nice to receive a little gratitude for all the work we do. I mean, we are working very hard all the time. When was the last time you had a break? Thinking about its entire existence, blood cell A says, come to think of it, never. And when was the last time you were thanked for doing your job? Also never. And yet, we still work very hard at our jobs. Are we crazy? You might be. Of all the blood cells I have talked to, not one of them has mentioned they wanted to be thanked. I mean, is it even that hard? Before blood cell A could answer, a large rip in the skin opens up the vein and exposes it to air and contaminants. Watching most of the blood cells around it get sucked out, blood cell A barely makes it past and continues to the heart. Looking around to find its talking companion, blood cell A spots a horde of nasty and invasive bacteria getting a hold of and slaughtering the cells around it. The bacteria, being much slower and more focused on staying where they were, allows blood cell A to avoid them. Seeing a white cell, blood cell A calls out to it and reports of the invasion and location. Knowing it's in good hands with the white cells on the job, blood cell A calms down and enters your heart. Arriving at the location, white cell A witnesses the carnage the bacteria have managed to do in such a short time. Pure chaos, white cell A says, and there are so many of them. Let me at them, white cell B says. I'll take on half of them by myself, you take on the other half. Arriving with an army of white cells, the general white cell looks at the invasion and says, never in my whole life have I seen an invasion this bad. We knew what we were getting into when we became white cells. Now let us fulfill our duty! Charge! The army of white cells advance on the bacteria army that has 10 times as many warriors. Knowing most of them won't make it, even if they win it all, white cell A engages with the first bacteria and manages to slay it. Knowing it's only one of many, white cell A seeks out its next target. Standing up, you wipe off the dirt and small rocks around the large scratch in your knee. Feeling quite embarrassed as you were stepping down the porch stairs and tripped, you look around and see that no one saw what happened, and you walk back inside. Washing off your knee, you put on a Hello Kitty Band-Aid. Looking at the jar you just purchased, you read, Product, Immune Revival. Then you think, I just bought it. I guess this is as good a time as any to try it out. Opening up the bottle, you rip off the protective seal and put one unflavored scoop into your favorite drink. Stirring it in, you take a sip and don't notice any flavor change. Downing the rest of the drink, you walk back outside to go get the mail. Looking at the army of bacteria that seem to keep coming at them no matter how many they defeated, White Cell A begins to wonder if they can win. Sir, I don't think we can hold them off any longer. Do we retreat? White Cell A asks. Slaying a large bacteria, the general says with a booming voice, Never give up! Never surrender! The White Cell general then stretches out and takes on 2 bacteria at once. Feeling rejuvenated, White Cell A forgets for a moment of the overwhelming force and fights on. Finding its next target, White Cell A engages and finds out it is outmatched in skill. The larger and longer bacteria had it nearly surrounded. Unable to escape back without the bacteria blocking the way, White Cell A wonders if it is done for. Sensing the anticipation the bacteria has for ending it, White Cell A musters all its strength and attacks. Giving it all it's got, White Cell A finds that it isn't enough and the bacteria is going to win the engagement. When suddenly, the bacteria dies. Seeing the general, White Cell A is filled with relief and seeks out its next target, one that it can take on. Not seeing any small bacteria, White Cell A looks around for other white cells to team up with. Not seeing any allies and only seeing enemies, White Cell A knows for sure its doom is ensured. Not willing to go out without putting up a fight, White Cell A finds the nearest bacteria and charges! Becoming quickly overwhelmed with many bacteria opponents, White Cell A feels good that it put up a fight till its last moments and accepts its fate. That's when the bacteria stop attacking it and move their attention to a larger threat. Finding a small bacteria trying to join the others, White Cell A snags it and ends its existence. Moving along with the other bacteria, White Cell A wonders what has their attention. Fighting off a few of the bacteria that notice it, White Cell A sees the general still fighting, alongside a whole host of other white blood cells. Seeing the whole vein full of white blood cells, White Cell A knows it is only a matter of time before the entire invading force will be wiped away for good. Joining in with the others, White Cell A does its part and ends a whole bunch of bacteria. After the last of the bacteria is taken care of, White Cell A finds the leader of the new army and thanks them. To which the leader replies, "We are just doing our job. Thank the person that drank the product. That's where we come from." Thinking of you, White Cell A sends its gratitude. The